I think the reason why a lot of older men gravitate towards women in their like early 20s isn't necessarily because they look younger or they're prettier. I think there's just more of them. If you round up 10 girls in their 20s, probably half of them at least are going to look good and be single. If you round up 10 women in their late 30s, early 40s, probably like 3 out of 10 of them are still going to look good for their age. And of those 3 or 4 that look good for their age, how many are going to be single? 1? You know what I mean? That it's just a bigger dating pool for younger women, for dudes my age. I like women my age, okay? But there's just not a lot of there's just not a lot of them available. I know some beautiful, like perfect women, and they're married, dude. I just came from, they're all taken. That's the only problem. Whereas a lot of younger women aren't taken yet. It's not that I prefer younger women. They're just what's available, dude. I'm not complaining, man, but I'm just saying, it's not like we're creeps and just wants to have some fetish for a younger woman. It's just they're more available. And the ones that are single and around seem to get, a lot of times are pretty jaded, man. You know, they just got out of a divorce. They have kids, which I don't mind them having kids. And I don't mind them being divorced. It's the emotional baggage they carry from the divorce, man. You find me a woman around my age that's single, good looking, healthy, happy, perfect.
What's the hardest part about dating at 41? So I think the hardest part for me, I like women that are younger, typically around 10 years younger than me. Man, I like them tight and right. Like, I don't like to see signs of aging. I know that's so superficial, but that's what I want. And then I want someone who doesn't have it all figured out yet.
So you want a woman who lacks experience so you can show her the world and teach her things.
And let me blow your mind. Let me be associated with like your first everything.
Call me crazy, but nothing that he's describing sounds like he's looking for a 31-year-old. You don't want to see signs of aging. Well, how young we talking about? You like them tight and right? You like them inexperienced? You want to be their first everything? What first are you describing that a 31-year-old would be experiencing with you? Sounds like you want them a little younger than 31. This is what I mean when I say that some men are predatory when they're looking for much younger women, because they know that you're inexperienced. They want to be able to run circles around you. They don't want to deal with women their own age because most of the time they can't meet those women's standards. They want less experienced women because that's the only kind of women they can impress.
Ladies, if you want to improve your dating options, get in the fucking gym, okay? It's that simple, all right? If you are 35 and up as a woman, understand that the men who are your age, they are dating women who are younger. So if you are 35 and up, you already into the 45, 50-year-old range. Men are visual creatures. We're not only visual creatures, but you will improve your dating options by getting in the fucking gym. Stop sitting around eating bullshit all day and then searching for a man to fit those fucked up habits. Get in the fucking gym.
They look more you know what I'm saying, when they're still in their 20s.
Do you know how
So
predatory that sounds?
What do you mean by that?
It sounds very predatory because
Not in like a predatory way.
It is in a predatory
I'm just
way.
saying most males.
Yeah.
Like, if I would go to 30, I wouldn't like marry like another 30-year-old.
Why
I would,
is
like,
that?
probably marry someone younger.
Why?
Because I want my kids to look fresh.
Exactly. That is so predatory, guys.
In what way?
That is so predatory.
In what way?
How
Can
do you
explain
even?
it? Can
How do you even?
Can explain why?
Okay, but why do you look at women and you wanna classify women with freshness and being children, and you're not looking at that as predatory behavior?
But that's part of marriage.
If you wanna look at
marriage,
what?
Right? Am I not reproducing in marriage? Am I not like starting?
I'm not
family,
talking in
like
that sense. I'm
kids?
saying if you're going to look at women and be attracted to the fact that they're fresh and young, that is predatory behavior. Because
No,
you're
not
not
in that
attracted
way.
to
Not
them.
fresh.
You're attracted to their naivety. You're attracted to their age. You're attracted to the fact that they're fresh and young. Like, how do you...
Boy.
Watch this video, and I'll be right back.
Between 21 and 25.
21.
21 and 20.
You're 33.
I'm 33 years old.
Be telling a lot of my homegirls who have an affinity for older men or who are attracted to older men to be very careful, because a lot of them think like that. Because he's 33 and he says he's always had the best experience dating wise with women who are 21 to 25 because they're more malleable. In retrospect, he's essentially saying that younger women are easier to mold. If the motivation of you being involved with a person who is younger than you but still grown is being how moldable they are, that's predatory, whether you want to look at it like that or not. A young person who is 21, the ages of 21 to 25 are very pivotal in regards to adulthood, because this is where we're finally beginning to experience more and we're starting to still learn what it is that we like and that we dislike. We're still in the middle of trying to understand who we are outside of our parents. For if you are consciously or subconsciously looking for somebody who has less life experience so that you can mold them, that makes you a predator. And I wholeheartedly believe that for both men and women. Y'all some weirdos.
See, y'all have been asking me this question for a bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook for y'all real quick. The question of the day is, why are older men only seeking after younger women nowadays? Why are older men only seeking after and trying to date younger women nowadays? They want a doormat. Short and sweet answer, they want a doormat. And a lot of those older men, they try to hide it and disguise it in a way where, man, these younger women, man, they don't come with all of the baggage. They don't come with the trauma. They don't come with all that drama. They're not set in their ways, and they're easier to mold into a doormat. They want to mold a young woman into a doormat, and it's intimidating. It's hard on them to date a woman that's their age range, because the woman that's their age range is tapped into what I call God-ordained woman's intuition. They can spot it from a mile off. They know the trickery, they know the manipulation tactics, and they will call you out on it. And they don't want to deal with that. So they'll rather deal with a young woman that has not tapped into her divine, feminine, God-ordained woman's intuition. They haven't seen the mind games. They haven't faced the trickery yet. So they're easier to mold. They're easier to manipulate. You didn't see what you just saw, young woman. You didn't see what you just saw, and they put you back into the sunken place. Y'all remember that movie Men in Black, Will Smith? He used to have that flashlight with the little beamer stick and flash it and make people forget what they just saw and convince them that they didn't see aliens. They didn't just deal with UFO phenomenons and all that. That's what they do with these younger women. And don't be a younger woman and you don't have your dad in your life. You don't have no masculine father figure or anything like that. Oh, man, that makes it even better. That makes it even easier. I can isolate you from your family. I don't have to deal with no masculine energy or none of that stuff. I can isolate you. I can manipulate you. I can financially abuse you and just have you and mold you to be under my wing. And a lot of them don't want to admit that. A lot of these older men, they're on this passport bro energy, but they don't have the passport bro money and resources. They're on this passport bro energy, but they don't have the passport bro money, meaning they may be on child support. They may be on papers or something like that. So they can't go overseas. So they'll get with the young woman over here that they can easily mold into a doormat.
Ladies, wait till you find out that the only reason why a lot of men like dating younger women is so they can cheat on you and manipulate you into doing anything that they want you to do. These type of guys like dating younger women because they know that they can take advantage of you, and then you're not going to question them based off of their knowledge and their seniority. And not even to mention, a lot of the time when you date an older man, you notice that a lot of them either have a double life or they have a baby mama or any of that sort that they never tell you about until you find out. And you will also notice when you get into an argument with him, it'll be either his way or no way. He will make your feelings feel invalidated because he wants to be right. And since he's older, he thinks that he knows best. Older men also are more quick to try to enforce boundaries as if you are their kid, telling you, oh, I don't think you should be wearing that out, or telling you that you can't go hang out with friends. And the harsh reality is, the older that he may be, the more experience that he has with entertaining other women, cheating on other women, manipulating them as well, and also being a narcissist. And not even to mention, they will lie to you and still try to justify their lying, especially if they cheated on you. They will try to convince you that you were in the wrong, even though they cheated. It was never about the age, and you were never the problem. But one thing for sure, and two things for certain, just because a man is older will not make him act any better than if he was younger. But y'all stay safe though. Ladies, I'm gonna be real with you. Beware of the men that only date younger women. Because I can tell you 110%, they are not looking for a genuine relationship. They're only dating younger women so that they can manipulate them and use them and mold them into someone or the woman that they think that they should be. See, men like this, they have a certain complex when they believe that they can manipulate that woman and get her to do anything that he wants. It's literally like a teacher to a student. He wants everything to go his way, and he doesn't really want her to have a figure or an identity to herself. He doesn't really see her as the woman that she should be. He only really sees her as the person that brings him glory or makes him feel a little bit younger and alive. See, they don't date older women because they know that she does not tolerate any BS and that she has higher standards and will not accept the bare minimum. See, these type of women have a certain maturity that scares men away because they know that they will not allow that man to manipulate them or control their lives. But yet he settles for the younger woman who he can mold into the woman that he wants her to be so that he can manipulate her into the ways that he needs for him and himself. He doesn't really care for that younger woman's well-being. He only really cares about how she makes him feel, not how he makes her feel. And I'm gonna also tell you another thing. Don't date a guy because he is older and you think that, oh, he's not going to play any games about you or that he's mature, because I can tell you that there is 23, 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds that have way more maturity than a 54-year-old. See, just because they're older does not mean that they're going to treat you better. See, there are men that are older that still lead women on, entertain other women, and cheat on women. So for you to say that you're going to try to find an older man, that's crazy. But y'all stay safe.
So I had one of my long-term supporters ask me, why do I think it is that older men tend to want to date younger women? Keep in mind, this is just my opinion and it doesn't apply to all situations. In my personal opinion, the standards are lower, there's not a lot of expectation, and there's not a whole lot of healthy boundaries set in place. Hear me out. Majority of individuals' dating experience, probably up to the age of maybe early 20s, 21, 22, is from high school. And you can only imagine what high school relationships look like. The expectations for older men, when I say older, I mean 30 and up, is for them to have their life together. So have their own vehicle, have their own place to stay, have a stable job or some type of income coming in order to support themselves. Also, there's the expectation for them to know how to navigate a relationship and be able to talk and communicate because they're adults at their prehistoric age. So when these men who are 30 and up date women who are 30 and up, these expectations are present. There are boundaries set in place. There's a high standard that they have to follow. Let's be realistic. A lot of men who are 30 and up don't really have their life together. Some of them don't have a car. Some of them don't even have their own place to stay. Some of them ain't even really making money. A lot of them don't know how to communicate or be sympathetic or empathetic towards their partner because it requires too much work, because their partner is saying, hey, I need you to be there for me. And they're telling their partner, oh, you're being overwhelming or you're doing too much or it's always something with you. You usually hear that a lot, right? And that's because these older men are choosing not to want more out of life. They're choosing to be complacent where they are because they're happy with what they are, not having these certain things that they should have at their age. So instead of dating women their age, they choose to pursue women who are younger. Because these women are younger are going from guys they dated in high school to a 30-year-old man who has a little bit more than the guys that they dated in high school. So it looks like an upgrade to the younger women, and to the older men, it just requires less work. But they still get the same rewards. So to give you all another example, you remember in high school how you had freshman girls dating senior guys and they thought it was a flex? It's not. And because a lot of these younger women don't really have experience when it comes to dating, they don't know what healthy boundaries look like. They don't know what their expectations should look like. They don't know how to set high standards to where they don't accept less than what they deserve. Because of that, they get taken advantage of by older men who don't want more out of life, and instead of going to pursue more, they go find somebody who's willing to accept less. Once again, this is just my opinion, doesn't apply to all older men in this situation, but if the shoe fits, fucking wear it.
You guys ready to hear some horrifying truths? Well, I'm here to hit you with them. Let me tell you why most men, choose younger partners for the most part. Because after a long extended period of time, guys get to the point where they think to themselves, man, I really fell with every relationship I've had. This is depressing. They begin to think to themselves, wow, I can't have an emotional connection anymore, so I need to start over new. It's kind of like starting a new character in a video game. It's kind of like having a child. And that's what a lot of guys think. They think to themselves, man, if I can just teach somebody new and mold them into what I want them to be, it'll be all right and perfect. That's the thing. Guys enjoy the aspect of, wow, this thing is new. I want this new thing, because they want to feel like they're not getting old. They want to feel like they still got it. Sometimes guys will just talk to a girl just to see if they can do it. They'll think to themselves, they'll say, you know what? I'm going to prove I still got it. They just want to prove to themselves that they're still a man. And that's a very horrifying, toxic, masculine mindset that has been perpetuated in the media and society. It's always the older guy getting with the younger girl. It's always a crazy age dynamic. Oh, look at that hot, young thing. Look at those all the words. Hot, young, and then not even humanizing the thing. That's where the term trophy wife comes from. Trophy wife, a wife that you show off, much like a trophy. Disgusting, volatile, and vicious. But what are trophies? Gold, pristine, and crystalline. What is young? Pristine, crystalline. They're in this mindset where they believe they have to get the youngest, newest thing. They got to get the newest car. They got to get the newest game system. They got to stay up to date. They got to have the fastest internet. They got to have the newest grill. They got to make sure they stay up to date with everything, even if it means at the expense of getting rid of the things they love. And this becomes an ever-present issue in later in life when you think to yourself, wow, okay, interactions of the bodily fluids become more, experience with someone you have a connection with. That's how it becomes. Guys, however, end up getting to this state where they think to themselves, well, what if I don't have it anymore? And then end up falling back and ruining it for themselves. You have to add a little bit of healthy competition to keep it spicy. That's what you gotta do with most guys. Not all guys. Now, this isn't a generalization statement. This is about, even if it's 51%. This is just within my group of people that I know. And maybe you also relate to it. I don't want to generalize all men here. That seems to be disrespectful to the brand because they're not all the same. But it is an ever-present issue that I have begun to notice. So you're probably wondering, well, why do guys choose younger girls? Why is Leonardo DiCaprio always choosing 21-year-olds? Why is Tom Hanks married to a youngin? Why is that? Well, you could, A, say my logic and say that guys, when they get older, they just want to stay with a young, hot thing. Or B, let the girls win, because if the guy is able to give them 5 years of great, high quality living, that would be amazing. Sure, he's an old dude and maybe he might croak during the relationship and she gets all the money. If they get married, she still gets something. Let her chase a bag. Like, can she chase a bag? That'd be great. Amazing. Phenomenal. I would love for that to happen. But no, everybody's always like, he's horrible. He's doing this bad thing. He is doing a bad thing. It's horrible. It's weird. It's weird to go after somebody that young. But on the complete flip side of that, she's chasing a bag. That's how I view it most of the time. But guys go for younger girls simply because they want to mold them into what they want to be. That's why they always are just like, oh man, I want a virgin. Why? You want somebody that's completely inexperienced with the experiences of the body? Yeah, so I could teach them. Teach them what? Because you couldn't make your previous wife reach the end of the movie, the climax, the high point. Now you want to disappoint somebody else? That seems to be childish and weird. Insane. Chaotic. Goofy. But hey, I'm just a fella. I'm just a guy that knows how guys think.
What have we done, women? Ever when I was a little girl, when I was a child, when I was in my 20s, I was dating a guy. He was in his 30s. And to me, I thought it was a flex because we tend to feel like older men has a lot of experience more than the younger guys. Older men treat you right. We don't know they are using us as a trophy. So this is what they see when they see younger women. Eh? The other guy is like pretty tight things. Like, oh my God. What do you mean by tight? Hey. Women have suffered. So younger women, I know you people will be thinking older men are after you because you are all hot and sexy. Now that you've heard from the men, use this information. Do use it how you please. Don't think they are after you because you think we that are in our 30s, middle 30s, late 30s, that we are old. Girl, we are not old. We have seen it all. You understand me? We've seen it all. So now you guys are young, a little bit naive. So they are, how do I say, they are feeding off you. You are 25, you are dating a guy of 39, 40. You think it's a flex. It's not a flex. You put it to be wise. Go for your age group. If you are 25, at least date a guy of 28, 27. You guys can grow together. You guys can learn new things together. You've heard from the 40s and 30s men. You guys they are trophies. I know some of you don't mind. You guys feel the older the better. I know, the older the better, right? I thought like that a couple of years back. I thought so too. But now you've heard from the men. They are trying to mold you to what they want. Men. Just leave us alone. What do women do to you people? Now you people are going for the younger ones so you can manipulate them. Hey. Guys, thank you so much for watching. To my younger girls, hope you've heard what the men are saying. So it's up to you to do what you want with this message, okay? Stay blessed. Bye.